Hello everyone, this is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for September 21st to the 27th of 2025. So before we dive in, I want to remind you that Astro 101 class is still open for registration. We've only had one class so far, so catching up won't be hard, and there are replays, and the classroom has all the goodies, and it's much more fun when we have a crew. So join us if you can this year. It is an annual class that I'll do again next year. Reach out directly with any questions and check out the registration link and the video on the signs that I did as part of an invitation to the class. I think you all will really like that one too. So this is equinox week, so it's pretty packed energetically. Here we have Sun opposing Saturn, both at the end of Virgo Pisces, the Virgo new moon solar eclipse, and then it hits Libra and kicks off equinox. So this is a powerful little portal that starts with Sun opposite Saturn on Sunday, the 21st. This is an annual process of development. The Sun makes it personal and about you, the individual. Saturn helps move your timeline along and build the literal aspects of life, the basics of providing for yourself, food, shelter, etc., and your own personal limitations. What renewed aspect of self got activated about 6 months ago, and how do you want that to fully develop over the next 6 months? This is a potent midpoint, the most powerful course-correcting time in any cycle, this one being an annual meeting between Sun and Saturn, a checkpoint between you and your responsibilities. Each year you evolve, and some years more consciously than others, so this is a good time to check in with your own personal definitions of what you are or are no longer responsible for. So here's a little added point here. This is probably the last time for 30 years we'll get to do it in Virgo Pisces. Now for the next 2.5 years, which may get us 2 to 3 chances on this, it'll be in Aries Libra, because Saturn's moving into Aries. So it's going to move along like that. So yes, it's an annual meeting and an annual cycle, but it's part of a bigger cycle that we need to pay attention to. So what are you responsible for now that you maybe weren't 2 years ago, and vice versa? What are you no longer responsible for that maybe you were 2 years ago? Often this energy activates a push-pull between who you are and who you want to be, between what you want to do and what you have to do. My age-old advice is do what you gotta do so you can do what you want to do, which means handle business first, basically. And while it may not be the easiest path, it's usually worth it for the peace of mind that it brings. You may swing between extremes of fulfilling all your obligations to the neglect of your own truth and purpose, or neglecting your obligations and doing whatever you choose, which only means those obligations will be there when you get to them, and they will have most likely increased by the time you do. So balance is the key. Practice, there is no perfection, and it's time to practice handling business before pleasure, especially with this one. And Sun is lighting something up from across the way that's saying stabilize this, anchor this, make this real, and it's our last shot in the Virgo Pisces, which is body spirit work, and it's your day-to-day reality versus your dream and what you imagined your life would be, right? So we get to infuse that annually, but only every 30 years in Virgo Pisces. Same day is our Virgo new moon solar eclipse, which is actually the second Virgo new moon facilitating that lunar flip that I mentioned earlier. Now we have the second Virgo new moon, whose general description applies. However, we also need to take a few other things into consideration. It is likely that the first Virgo new moon, which was August 23rd, illuminated the initiation work in one house or area of life, and this second one will do its initiation work in a completely different house or area of life. This means that we are doing a clearing in the Pisces house or area of life that will serve the initiations going on in 2 other areas of life. So that Pisces full moon lunar eclipse really was the end of an era in a lot of ways. As we approach the harvest for the year 2025, keep in mind that everything is a response to the last thing and preparation for the next thing. So if you were able to activate renewed self-love and creativity in Leo in the last month, you will now shift to how to anchor that new emergent self in your day-to-day life with the Virgo Pisces lunation, which will make you more individually secure as you move toward Libra time, which is coming next. This lunation is special as it also activates the process of what I call the lunar flip. For the last 18 months, the new moon preceded the full moon, creating a rhythm of having to plant our seeds and walk by faith to the full moon, which usually shines a light on anything possibly blocking those new moon seeds from taking root and growing healthy and strong. Now that rhythm is shifting to the full moon preceding the new moon, which will ask you to complete, clear, and release before seeding anything new. This means that we may experience that ending new beginning vibe in a very personal way over the next 18 months. We are going through 2 Virgo new moon initiations to facilitate the upgrade to our nervous systems so that we can handle the new rhythm emerging from the recent rebirths that we have all gone through on individual, social, and collective levels. In other words, we will likely have to initiate some new projects in 2 different areas of life in order to facilitate the great rebirth that we've recently gone through. This is especially potent and transformative for anyone with strong Virgo, Pisces, or Gemini, Sag. The second Virgo new moon is also a solar eclipse, which is activating much more than our annual cycle. It is in the process of ending and initiating a new 20-year cycle, reflecting on the following years to decide how to navigate the incoming changes, movement, and upgrades in your Virgo Pisces areas of life, what I call relevant reflections. So the full cycle that we've just completed, Pisces to Pisces, started in 06 to 08, carried us here to 2024 to 27, and we'll go forward to the next one will be 2043 to 45. But those midpoints, when the North Node was in Virgo, are still part of this cycle and would have been equally impactful and also facilitated Virgo Pisces eclipses. So 2015 was the last one, coming soon, 2034 to 36, and then further down the road for that final cycle will be 2053 to 55. So these are just little things to reflect on and see how those changes that you went through in the years you can remember and reflect on, to know that every cycle repeats over and over. But what's different is the sky pattern is different, you're different, your circumstances are different. We should be able to respond in new ways every time a cycle circles back. And that's kind of the rhythm and the practice I want you all to get into. Because then co-creating gets pretty miraculous. That's all I got to say. So Saturn is a 30-year cycle. We just had the power circle call on the Virgo Pisces nodes and eclipses, which is a 20-year cycle. So that replay is in here as well and posted on my podcast and YouTube channels. So if you want to go deeper into the Virgo Pisces eclipse work, because we are in the portal as we speak this week, check that out when you get a chance. Same day, Sunday the 21st. This is a big day. We have the eclipse, that's Sun Saturn, and we're going to do the fall equinox fire ceremony in my backyard on Zoom. This is a community event for the Soul Sister Circle where we invite others to drop in and join us. There's a suggested donation of $22, but this is an open community event, so bring your friends. All are welcome. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and you can register to get all the goodies in the replay. Fall equinox technically is the 22nd, the next day, Monday. So this season is about integration and stabilization of life. Gather and harvest means you assess what you've produced and accomplished in the last 6 to 9 months. Evaluate and rectify means assess what worked and what did not work in the last 6 to 9 months. Balance and integrate, which means assess what you need to do, have, or be more or less of going forward. And then pause for the cause. We always pause at the turn of the wheel, the shift of the seasons. Transition times are times to be still, tune in, and prepare for a new season. Ashe. So fall equinox, harvest time, we say rhythm is a beautiful thing. This is the year that we've just activated a new rhythm in Virgo so that we can do more things with other folks in Libra. Taking some time at the turn of each season notifies the universe that you are ready, willing, and able to co-create with Mother Earth and Father Sky. Fall equinox is the time of year to bring all your projects to a close. Finish whatever you can and start looking toward new projects. Balance and integrate what is working and release the rest. If you willingly and lovingly release that which is not working, the next season will go a lot smoother when you go to truly close the year in preparation for a new solar year. Harvest is about assessing and gathering all that you've created for the year and ultimately reaping the rewards of all your hard work and labor. Some of your harvest will be tangible, creative projects that can and will bear fruit now that they are complete, stable, or in place. And then some of your harvest will be intangible, in that you have further cultivated your own being over the last year, and now you and others can benefit from your personal integration, individual gifts, and evolved consciousness. Align with your higher self and expand your goals for the coming season. Think bigger. Fall equinox is a time of balance between light and shadow, and takes us from movement out in the world to more inner work with what you've got type of energy. Using your resources and creations to build on and expand, primarily behind the scenes in preparation for spring initiation 6 months from now. Libra is the sign of the season and is ruled by Venus, which reminds us that all life is inextricably connected. Any imbalances affect all life eventually. As living conscious beings, we strive for balance in all that we think, feel, say, and do. You can access your inner Libra and recenter so that you are more effective in your beingness and more useful to life in general. We love spring and fall equinox because it is the literal physical balance, and I always remind folks to tap in. Life is so extreme right now that if we don't acknowledge the actual balance that we have access to, then we're never going to feel it from the inside out. So take a moment this season to recalibrate your balance. Same day, equinox, the 22nd, which is Monday, Mars enters Scorpio until November 4th. Mars usually spends about 2 months in each sign, stimulating our inner sacred masculine and moving that evolution along. This is where the energy and juice that Mars is channeling comes through the lessons and blessings of the sign. It stirs up the energy in this area of life, or that house in your chart, which in this case is Scorpio. Every 2 years, it is a nice cycle to sync up with in order to co-create, especially when you really want to get some things done. That's what your Mars is for. Your inner sacred masculine is responsible for holding good boundaries, negotiating on your own behalf, and getting your ideas into the world. It is a delicious rhythm to pay attention to when you are wanting to develop right timing and right action around your desires and passions, and also wanting to see the results of your conscious choices. It's a good one to play with. When Mars moves into Scorpio, it is the most powerful time to conceive who you are and what you want on a whole new level. Scorpio is the lesson of power, creation, and karma, and so it is a good time to review how you have honored your power, nurtured your creativity, and cleared karma in the last 2 years. When Mars is in Scorpio, unconscious behaviors are more obvious and up for renewal or clearing. If unconscious, you may act in survival mode during this time, feeling threatened by the slightest movement or shadow. The idea is to check in with your soul self and ask how you can deepen your dedication to cultivating a life that reflects and expresses the light of your own soul. Accept and facilitate the release of all that no longer serves and make room to recreate your life in a whole new way. This conception point, like all of them, will likely be in darkness or behind the scenes, meaning you won't be inclined to discuss your plans, but instead you are supported to quietly and meticulously carry them out. Watch any extremes, feast or famine, and remember that everything is energy, and energy must be directed or it can get stagnant and turn toxic. Renew your passion for something that you used to deeply love, or find a new passion. Also keep in mind that this is a time when your most primal emotions are stirred, so convert any personal, social, or collective rage, which is paralyzing, into outrage, which is mobilizing, and can facilitate positive change rather than indiscriminately destroying everything or everyone in your path. This is a phoenix from the ashes opportunity that comes around every 2 years, so take advantage of it to rebirth your individual self. Deep breath. That's Monday. Then we go to Tuesday when Sun is going to oppose Neptune. Remember, Saturn and Neptune are together. So look at these two together in particular. Where Venus opposed Neptune is about your relationships and finances, this Sun activation is more about you, the individual. And any opposition requires that we find the balance in the middle. This can be a very confusing energy. You will be very sensitive to others and their needs, as well as how they relate to you and your own needs. You may want to withdraw or not voice your opinion just to avoid conflict, feeling like it wouldn't solve anything anyway. However, I don't recommend it. Often, if and when you do not disagree openly, then people assume you agree, which creates more problems. You shouldn't give in to any temptation of being slick either. That will only attract more of the same to you. If you're feeling unsure of yourself or your position, you may think it is easier to give in to another person's demands when you really should stand up for yourself. Self-preservation is not selfish, it is necessary. So try to avoid playing the victim. Be honest and upfront with anyone demanding a confrontation at this time that you would rather gather your thoughts and discuss things later. By then, this energy will have passed. You'll be able to articulate your side of things better. Be aware of deception, both on your part and or the part of others trying to deceive you. Your discernment is not its strongest under this influence, that's Neptune, so it is best to be still and quiet until the energy passes. Take this time to do some spiritual inner work. You are totally supported. Same day, Tuesday the 23rd, sun is still kicking. Now all these folks are at these early or late degrees. Is trining Uranus. That's an opportunity. We like that. This energy is wonderful for a little self-examination and taking action on your own behalf. Take a close look at your own routines, home environment, work, or any other significant areas in your life. Reflect on the decisions that have brought you to this point. It is an apt moment to survey your surroundings and determine how to retain what serves you well while releasing what no longer aligns with your future path. This phase encourages organization and decluttering, addressing anything that requires attention or letting it go altogether. While you may feel exceptionally practical or self-focused, it is actually a form of self-preservation, which is essential. Deep breath. The next day, Wednesday the 24th, it'll trine Pluto. This is another blessing. This energy ignites a strong desire within you to accomplish your goals by any means necessary, and while you may come across as assertive, it ultimately serves a positive purpose. The changes at hand are necessary, and facing them head-on will provide invaluable insights that strengthen your foundation, facilitating organic evolution to the next level of your own life. This transformative energy encourages deep contemplation about your own individual needs and desires, prompting you to reassess and potentially reform or release certain aspects of yourself, your life, or environment. Seizing the opportunity to evolve consciously will mitigate any intense Pluto energy, which is just like Uranus. Choose the change, choose the transformation so that it's not painful. This energy helps you leave a lasting impression or positively impact others if you want to, but be sure that your actions and words are aligned with the highest ethical standards. Any attempts to manipulate others for personal gain will likely backfire on you. Embrace this positive, uplifting energy to clear away obstacles and manifest the life you are meant to live. Ashe. Deep breath. So we don't want to fight Pluto, especially when it's easy. The trine, that's ease and grace. The sun is lighting something up that is allowing you to change it easily. Like you can see it now. That's another Kellyism. When you can see it, you can own it. When you can own it, you can change it. But if you can't see it, you can't own it. And if you can't own it, you can't change it. So it's all connected. And we have some ease there, whereas Mars square Pluto is not so easy. We're going to close on a challenging one. This is higher will and lower will going at it. This is a profound test of your inner strength and core identity, demanding a certain level of surrender and an increased self-awareness in order to navigate successfully. It challenges you to evolve, urging you to master challenges and surmount obstacles, while cautioning against any overly aggressive behavior that could harm yourself or others in the process. If approached with wisdom, this potent energy holds the potential for significant transformation, provided you are personally clear on your own identity, desires, and choices, and willing to make the necessary sacrifices for your own growth and evolution. Power struggles, both internal and external, may arise, as this energy impacts everyone at this juncture. It is a critical period to tie up loose ends before embarking on new beginnings, as unfinished business could hinder future endeavors. Aligning your inner power with balanced actions and considered choices is paramount during this time of intensity and transformation. Deep breath. So, not to be avoided, lean in and join us when and where you can. Reach out directly when you need to, and have a fantastic week. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.